Previously on Reality Rumble, we caught up on the Challenge All-Stars Rivals, which is one season, not two separate seasons. Today, we are back before the final to preview Challenge All-Star Rivals, season 5? 5.
Yeah,
I was
you're
correct.
Right. Yeah.
SV3's here. Cher Delaware is here. We are back to talk about Challenge All-Star Rivals, All-Star Season 5. So, as we were talking off air, as we'll just spoil everything, I did not realize the final was 2 parts. I should have. That's a rookie mistake on my part, because I don't think the last time the final was 1 part, it had to be at least like 15 seasons ago when it was just a 1 episode finale. So I didn't realize that the finale was 2 parts. We were talking on our group chat, and you guys are like, "Oh, we should record before the final so we can like preview the final and everything." It's like, oh, okay, great. And then I thought, oh well, we missed last week, so we'll just record after the final and we'll talk about the whole season. But no, we're here to basically preview the final because it's 2 parts. I've watched the first part. You guys have not watched the first part yet. I'll spoil this for anybody. Nothing happens in the first part. Nobody gets eliminated. Stuff happens, but no one gets eliminated. They just go about their final. One team is struggling. Very much. I'll say that much about it. But we'll talk about
who's in the final to remember
who's in the final. Fair.
I bet I know who's not struggling, Steve and Adam, because they haven't been struggling this season.
TJ does do a very sneaky thing in the first part of the final. I won't say with who, but they're basically doing like a memory game in one of the parts, and they're having to arrange a set. And so one person puts a set piece in a certain place, and their teammate is like, no, it's not that. And like they're arguing about this, and this is what ends up like costing them on this set piece. And TJ just goes, after it's over, TJ's like, yeah, you had it right. And then they get so mad about it. I was like, oh, TJ just outright said like, yeah, you were actually and your partner arguing with you that whole time cost you guys that. So I'm like, oh, TJ's just digging in right there.
Just digging the knife in right into
I
the
actually
side.
respected that. I was like, you know what? Forget it. You may as well just say something and let them argue more as the finale the final continues to play out. TJ he's very in relax mode in this final and just chilling. And people are like, what is TJ doing? Like, why is he's playing a guitar at one point? They're like, why is TJ just playing this guitar? TJ is making fun of them throughout the finale. It's pretty good. We're going to catch up on what else has been going on in the challenge leading up to the final. I'm going to have to remember what happened. SV3 is going to have to do his masterly job at reminding us what actually goes on in these things. Because the only thing I remember is poor Nani.
Yeah. Never gonna catch a break. I think after one of these episodes we were gonna cover, I think me and Cher both were just like, yeah, Leroy and Nani are never gonna win a season of the challenge. Yeah. It doesn't matter what kind of challenge it is when they are set up with 2 of the best partners they could possibly have, with Leroy having Devin. And I ripped Leroy enough in the last episode we did. Don't worry, I'm going to rip him apart again. And Nani has Turbo again for a full season this time, and they still don't win. Neither one of them make it to the final. It's over. It's a wrap. Just call it quits. Y'all should retire right now. Y'all should both retire at the same time, because y'all are never going to win a season of the challenge.
So, a few seasons ago, I think it was Ryder Dies. Is that when Devin and Tori won?
Yeah.
Okay.
Season 38.
I did not watch the second half of that season. I hated that season. It was stupid. The Ryder Dies were like the most idiotically mashed up people ever. And I'm just like, Anissa and Jordan, really? That's what you gave me? Like, it was stupid partnerships, and I did not watch that. And I had never seen the finale before. I always let you guys just basically tell me what was happening on it every week. And I'd never seen the finale before. First off, it was a stupid. They had a freaking corn maze. Like that was the stupidest finale. I'm watching that and I'm just like, and as I was watching it, I was like, this season was literally set up for either Nani to finally get her win or Anissa to finally get her win. Nani is with Bananas, Anissa is with Jordan, and still neither of them can win. And it's just like, at this point, it's not going to happen. I mean, honestly, I think that if Olivia and Horacio wouldn't have had to DQ, they may have gotten second. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that was just. And then Bananas and Nani screaming at each other the whole time. And I'm like, please get these two off of my TV watching it. And as I've been watching the old seasons, you know, my memory is. So it's reminding me of different relationships that people have had with others. And so it's making more sense of the vets on the newer seasons. But I sent a video to you guys before we went on of Bananas just tearing apart Rachel because I'm watching Texas one right now. And she's a snake. She's a snake in the grass and like going through all this stuff. And I'm like, they should have aired this in 40 when him and Rachel are freaking rubbing each other's feet. They should have aired both of them talking about how the other is the first human alive on there. So I've appreciated watching the old ones. I think that those are fun when we have the all-stars coming on because it makes me remember just like small dynamics in people's relationships. I also don't like newer people being on all-stars. So I'm like, get them out of there. I don't need Devin on all-stars. Are you kidding me?
We don't need any current people on All Stars. That's the next thing we need to do, though. We need to do a tier list of every season. Since we're 40 seasons in, before 41 starts, we need to do a tier list of every season of the challenge.
I can't remember. Cher is rewatching like from the beginning almost. So Cher at least will have a good memory.
I was back in the episodes where Dave Mira's the host. Like I'm way back right now.
Let's go. No, I think I started watching the challenge like actively like season 5 when Miz and Carol won. That's like my earliest memory because they were the reason why I started watching the challenge because I think I've said it before to you guys. I love Back to New York. Back to New York Real World is like my favorite season of the Real World ever because you had Carol, who I had a big crush on when I was young, and you had The Miz, who was a wrestling fan. So it was like, oh, I'm in the challenge house. That's cool. Except I'm white. So that was cool to like relate it in that way. And I like guys like Malik, even though he got cucked by Jalissa in that season and stuff like that. But yeah, I love that season. So they were the reason why I watched the challenge for the first time. I was like, oh, okay. And then the challenge was the way that I started watching the Road Rules because I was like, I saw it from because they did like a whole casting special before that season of the Real World where they were casting for both Real World and Road Rules. So I think that was like my first like discovering what Road Rules was that casting special, and then I watched the Back to New York season, and then I watched the challenge after that, and then I started watching like Road Rules. Like I think my first season I was actively watching Road Rules was the season with Darrell and Shane.
Yeah,
that's how far back. I'm very old, y'all. I'm very old.
I remember watching.
I can't remember which I first watched live because they used to air a lot of the older ones on MTV. So I watched them that I hadn't watched live. So I can't remember exactly.
I can't remember the first one I watched live either because my memory just does not work that well. I do remember watching when I was in college and they aired it at 3 like in the afternoon. And it was the new episode that was going to air at 10 at night because that's when
they'd like preview air it earlier in the day.
Yeah. And I remember when I found that out because I like got out of class and I was like, wait a second, this episode hasn't aired yet because it was like appointment viewing for us to like watch at 10 o'clock at night. And then when we found out that it was airing at 3 and it was that episode, we were like, oh, well, now we can just watch it earlier. That's what I remember from all of these seasons. But I don't remember what actual season it was because my brain doesn't remember that far back.
I think on what I've been watching on the Pluto. So for anybody who wants to check it out, Pluto is a free streaming service. You don't even have to have an account or anything. You just download the app, and it has an episode that is literally the challenge 24. And it will air the seasons from beginning to end. Some of the seasons it airs too, but not all of them. But it doesn't tell you on the description what season you're on. So if you just jump in the middle of it, you're like trying to figure out. And so I've done that a couple of times, and I'm like, okay, like looking up like Mark Long, what seasons is he on? And then I'm like deducing what season it is based on that. But I think that the earliest one that I've caught on it so far was maybe the Gauntlet. So I mean, it's gone back pretty far, but I was like 10, I think, when the Gauntlet aired. So I may have watched it live because I was definitely watching it TV when I should watch TV. Like, as someone that has a 10-year-old now, he would not have been watching it. But my kids have been watching the challenge with. They like watching actual competition, and they like are always making fun of people who don't like bananas. You know, like they have their people. So last night,
boy, did Bananas give us a reason to not like him again?
So last night we got to watch Bananas Backpack, and I let them stay up to like 11:30 because I knew the episode was coming, and I was like, I don't know when this season will be on again. So we stayed up, and I was dying. My 8-year-old was like, he was horrified the whole time it was happening. And then they just kept talking about it today about how funny the episode was. But watching the older episodes was fun. I forgot how just insane Landon was. Like, I always loved Landon. I had like the biggest crush on Landon too, but he just dominated like everything. I mean, when him and what's her name, Carly, won on, was it Fresh Meat?
Fresh Meat 2.
Fresh Meat 2. When they won, he literally pushed her up that mountain. Like,
yeah,
with his head. He even said, I put my head between her butt cheeks and pushed her up that mountain. Like, he literally pushed her up that whole mountain. And I was thinking, he has to split $100,000 with her. I would be like, I'll take 90. I just did 90% of this work. And you're getting ready to take half of this money. Also, the prizes only being first place getting $50,000 is insane too.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that in our group chat, and you're like, yeah, they're getting like Motorola razors and sidekicks and things like that, and they're like going crazy over there. They're getting Burger King, like, Burger King, yeah, let's go. And nowadays, it's like, yeah, you're getting $500,000 for the final. They should bring back like daily prizes, though. I don't know what you'd actually give them, but they should bring that back.
Just like $10,000, like,
right.
Even if it's just some money.
I think the last time they did that, where they were doing prize money for the individual challenge, was Vendettas. Because Vendettas, they used to have they had the chart of like who had the most money, and then when they would get eliminated, that money would go into the pot at the end and stuff like that. Yeah, I like that. I love that.
I like that
I think
too.
Vendettas is an underrated season.
Yeah. If you don't make it to the final, you don't get anything. But then if you make it to the final, you get your cut of what you've earned throughout the season. Yeah, I like that premise of it too. But it's just been the Laurel, let's see, who it was Fresh Meat too. So Laurel was partners with
Kenny.
And they were getting ready to do one of them. And she was like, I mean, I want to win, but I really want that camera. I want that camera. And my oldest goes, why does she want that camera so bad?
It's like, you got to understand, a camera back in the day.
You have to understand, she had her flip phone and the camera on it was not very good then. Like,
they ain't got 4K cameras on the phones like they do now. Like,
well, and I
this
love
camera
that
was a thing.
They can't call it like an MP3 player. So they're like, this digital media device that you can win.
Oh man, but yeah,
it's been fun rewatching them.
And all the challenges back then were like just dumb carnival games. a lot of times. Like it's very funny. I distinctly remember the one where they're on like scooters and they gotta like navigate across
Yes.
like a maze thing, or they fall into
That's
the water.
That's Infernal 2. Infernal
Okay.
2 is one of my favorite seasons. Like if we do this tier list, I'm gonna argue with y'all if y'all don't want to put it in S tier. That's one of my favorite seasons because it has my favorite group of winners of all time, and it has that challenge. I think no, that's the previous one, but they have that. You have the badasses who never got along with each other because they had the Mean Girls, CT, Abram, and Derek all on one team.
I just watched Inferno 2. I just watched it the other day because it's what Landon, Miz,
Darrell, and Jamie Chung
Jamie
are the
Chung.
winners.
That's who wins. Yeah.
They're on the good guys. Which
that
Miz on the good guys, it's hilarious.
That season when at the beginning when they have that first one that's like the Navy SEALs that are supposed to be doing the challenge and they're like wheelbarrow and they're all like dying because they're having. I'm like, really? This is what's killing you guys? I can't wheelbarrow anymore. What's happening?
Oh, and that's the season with the Brad. It's a necklace now. It's a necklace.
Also, like I've watched early Brad seasons now, and I just watched the one where him and Tori had gotten married and they went together because like I was watching that one last night, of course.
Cutthroat.
Like
That's the same one with the bananas backpack. Cutthroat.
Yeah, I'm like Brad definitely. His eyes are not the same that they used to be. He got those crazy eyes now. Like that. I mean, I don't know if that's like some speed or what, but like he looked normal then, and now he's like at all times. Like
to be fair, when he says, "I got a necklace now," you see the crazy eyes there.
Yeah, no, that's
but
the,
now
the
he just
origin
has
of
the crazy eyes 24/7. So
I mean, getting divorced on reality television will bring that out of your whole relationship playing out in that way. We'll bring that out of you.
Yeah, I think that was his last season for a while. Was when he won at Cutthroat, and then he took off until I think Vendettas. Vendettas was when he came back, and then he had that whole affair with Brittany.
Oh God, the Pizzagate.
Pizzagate, yes. Yo, Vendettas is such an underrated season. I remember I rewatched it. I think that's the only season that I watched with my missus because they had it. They had the season on like one of the channels that we had on at that time. So yeah, we watched that. So I remember Pizzagate very well.
My kids, just like us, really love the trivia and seeing how stupid everybody is every time, and they're like, "What?" So this one, what is the official language spoken in Australia, was a trivia question for Johnny Banana.
Dutch. It's Dutch.
Dutch was his answer. And TJ said, Jesus Christ, the answer is English.
No, but nothing's worse than freaking Cara being asked, what's Muhammad Ali's real name? I don't know. Mahatma Gandhi?
Trivia always shows just how stupid these people are.
And
like that's
the pop culture ones that I'm like, of course you know that. Like, but they don't know the freaking language spoken in Australia.
the pop culture ones. I hate when they do just like challenge trivia. It's like I don't care about their challenge memory on this stuff. Like, no, give some obscure trivia, give math questions and things like that.
I don't like challenge trivia either because if it's something where you've been on a bunch of seasons, all that stuff's going to be running together too. So you're like, I don't know what season that was. Like, I mean, yeah, there's no way. I could never do that.
Yeah, I much prefer just real world trivia, not the show Real World, but is it school trivia? We'll call it that. Is it like when they get asked geography questions and stuff like that, and they're just completely stupid and aloof of like how many continents there are? That's funny stuff. All right. Challenge All Stars Rivals 5, something like that is what the name of this season is. I like how we started talking about Nani and how her failures on all this, and we just veered off into complete challenge history on
Well, we had to
things.
talk about how Nani has had probably the best partners of anyone to give her a chance and still can't do it.
She's had Banana twice and Turbo twice.
Mm-hmm.
She had Janae on one team. What was it? I think it was Rivals 2. She had Janae as well. Yeah. Her first season, she had Alton on her team for when they did the mix of the first Las Vegas season and the second all big. Still couldn't win.
I just don't think it's gonna happen for her.
It's not. It didn't happen this season for her. It's not happening.
Let me call out the challenge producers, cause y'all motherfuckers know y'all can edit out this shit with her and Casey. Y'all are cruel. Y'all are very cruel.
Honestly, fair. Yeah. Honestly, fair. I do wonder, like, yes, they can edit it out. When did it come out that they had split though? Like, were stuff already
before the season started?
Before the season started? Okay.
It was like it was like the end of last year.
Okay. I wasn't sure of the timeline because I wasn't sure like if it was already like canned, and so they're just like, well, let's just air it as it is. Like they could still edit it. You can go back, and if it hasn't aired yet, it's still editable. Editable, is that a real word?
Edible. It's still
edible is eating. Yeah, edible is like eating the footage.
Editable. I'm pretty sure it's editable. Yeah.
That's
if
what I
it's
said.
not a word,
editable.
we've just made it a word. So I will say, I kind of hate seeing real life relationships play out on the show because, like we just talked about, Brad and Tori, like we saw that on there, and I've been watching. I get when Abram and Kara meet, and then I've got Abram and Kara on X's, and knowing now people being like they're just weirdos and like making comments about him, and she's thinking about how he gets mean sometimes. And I'm like, ooh, this is like knowing what we know now about him. It's like, I want to watch this. Like, I don't want people's real life stuff come out on here. I don't like it at all. So that's I mean, at least her and Casey seem to be like they get along. They just split up. But I don't. And that's the same thing. I watched a couple of seasons where they just started dating. I got to see Casey eliminate her the other night in the one where they have to go against each other at the final during the elimination. Like some of them are just comfortable though. Like I don't want to see that. But I think Nani's gonna do it. I mean, she's done better probably than the rest of them because she's had, I think, 2 second place finishes and a third. So, and she makes it almost to the final, usually. And like Denise usually like third week she's on. But and my thing is like I know people like Anissa have to get pretty good at just for signing up for the show. But like if I've done, I mean, how many seasons has she done now? 16.
24 or something like that. I think it's like I don't know. Like at this point,
it feels like any number out there. I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right.
That sounds correct. She's done 43, and there's only been 40.
Yeah. Okay, I'm like, 43. That sounds about
I'm gonna
right
look it up. I wanna see how many she's done because. Like,
she's done 17 regular seasons, 2 of the Champs versus Stars, and she's done 2 All-Stars now.
Okay.
So it's over, it's over 20.
She's done okay. So you've done this many. And I mean, like I said, I'm sure she gets a good appearance fee. Like at some point, not ever winning anything more. So maybe you need to find like a real job because you're going to be aged out of what they're going to be calling for you soon. You may still get that All-Stars call, but that's going to be it. Like you're not winning enough of anything to be able to like put money saved for the future. Like you don't win. I mean, I can see CT and even I can't stand Bananas, but even him coming on because they win so much that they're making money You know that their apparent fee is probably 5 times the person's. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it because I'd be like, I'm embarrassed. I do not want to keep coming on TV 23 seasons later and still losing. Like,
They gotta go ahead, SP2.
After seeing Bananas on Pop the Balloon, can we not have Bananas on any more seasons of the challenge?
Yeah, I would very much prefer that because that was
his subtle and seemingly oblivious racism. I think I've had enough. I sent y'all the video of him back in like Rivals 3 with all
my
that.
friend Shaboogies did. She has a whole thread of all the terrible things Johnny Bananas says. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't think that it'll stop MTV from casting him because they had to scrap that whole season where he had the thing in the elevator. They had to scrap that whole thing and still cut him a check every time. Like, I don't know. And his defense of it, he'd have been better off just saying nothing.
What did he say in defense?
He
Well,
tried
for
to
anyone
say-
who didn't watch, Cher sent us the video from Pop the Balloon where Bananas was basically
It's a dating game.
Yeah, it's a dating game where the woman hold a balloon and the guy comes out, and if they're not attracted, they pop the balloon. And he got to look at all the ladies and kind of judge them, and he wanted to look at their feet first. And one of the, I think it was like one of 2 black women that were a part of the women that were in the lineup for him. He looked at one of their feet, and he says that her feet looks like she hangs upside down from a tree. And this is the second reference of a black woman being a gorilla or a monkey to him in less than 3 months.
Yeah, because he did it to Taylor Hale. And then tried to say that that's not what he meant by it, that he used...
It was a crypto thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, bud. And then he made this comment, and his defense was talking about the white girl because her toes were hanging over the window. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I mean, like you said, we saw the video of where he kept calling Corey's baby mama. What's her name? I can't remember. Cheyenne from 16 and Pregnant. That's what everybody knows her from anymore. But he kept calling.
Yeah, my missus. I showed my missus the video. She was like, "Yeah, she's from Team Monk."
Yeah, yeah. Where he kept calling Cheyenne Chantel. And she expressed to him that it was bothering her and asked him to stop, and he continued to do it. Like, he was awful to her, and that's not the only person. I mean, the misogyny and the racism is always rampant with him. That's why he surrounded himself by his Bananas angels, because then he could be like, see, I support women. Look at these women protecting me. And those were going to protect him against all the other women who he'd been terrible to. So, the whole thing was just super uncomfortable, but not surprising. It wasn't surprising.
Yeah, the misogyny has always been there with Bananas, like dating back to his just first season on the challenge with everything. Like, that has always been there with him, and everything else, not surprising at all. That comes along with it. I mean, we've called him out for the misogyny in past seasons where he just tries to bully every single woman who he can. Who was it? Devin's girlfriend on the show where he tried to
40? Michelle.
Michelle, yes, Michelle. Where he's like, "Oh, we're friends," but then Devin's just using you. Devin's just using you. Like, he was trying to manipulate and bully her like that entire season when it came to that relationship. Like, he always targets women on these shows. Every single season, he targets a woman and tries to go after her and tries to make her feel less than. So none of that is new with him. That is the Bananas playbook. So why he was even asked to do this show is beyond me. Of like, wait a second, you're gonna let him host this show where it's a very judgmental show. I've seen the UK version of it. Like, we've watched a few episodes, but it legitimately is, people got the balloon and they can pop it the second that person walks onto the screen.
Yeah.
So you're only judging that person on their looks before you know nothing else about them, like the looks and how they dress, maybe how they smell. That's like all you're really judging them on. So it's a very judgmental show in the first place. Then you allow Johnny Bananas to be part of it. It's like, yeah, you're gonna get some judgmental comments, and he's going to be Johnny Bananas. So why he was asked to do it?
It
No
kind of
idea.
reminds me of Next, of like a modern version of Next. When
Yeah,
people wouldn't even be off of the bus yet, and they'd be like, "Next!" Like, I mean, that's kind of what it reminds me of. And I don't watch the show. I just see the clip and then send it to you guys. But it was just like, and I saw someone say, he's like what, 43, something like that, and they were like, "You're however old, and you're still going on dating shows trying to find a partner." Like, there's probably something wrong with you at this point. Like, he just, I don't know. And like, I've seen people say, that's just the character, he plays it up. Like, he was this way early. He was
Yeah.
always, he was like, I mean, I've been watching these old seasons, and he is awful to people, even to the point where Kenny and Evan are like, you need to shut up sometimes. When Kenny and Evan are the freaking moral compass for you, like, I mean, he's just awful to people. Earlier seasons, it was more with other guys too, because I think that he had such a chip on his shoulder, like, with the guys. But it was always the guys that were smaller than him, like Derek. Like, he's, picking on Derek and throwing shit in Derek's bed and everything. And they're like, Donnie, like, shut up, just stop. Like, quit, leave people alone. And he's like a little kid starved for attention at all times. He just needs everybody to be like, oh, look what Johnny's doing right now. And I don't think that he's ever someone that's going to grow out of that. So, I mean, if he hasn't at this point.
The character thing is so stupid when we're talking about a reality television show. You're not in a movie. You're not on a scripted TV series. Okay, you play up a character on reality television. You're not like, especially in the manner that he does it.
Yeah.
SP3 will know I'm talking about here, but like Boston Rob on Traders, I can see him playing up like, yes, I am this cunning type of person, and I have no friends, and I backstab friends. He is not outright being misogynist and being racist on the show. He is playing up a larger personality for the name of the show, but he's not actually offending people. Yes. Yeah.
Like, you're not a wrestler. You don't have a gimmick. Like, you are a person who was cast as a person to be on this show. If you want to play up your personality and, be more dramatic or start drama or whatever, but like, it's still you. You're like, that's how these people know you as. And I mean, that's just, there's a reason that a lot of people don't associate outside of the show. And it's not just an on-screen thing. So, no, I don't know. I hate when people try to make excuses for all the stuff that he does on there. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, we've seen the way that he spoke to Devin, and that should have been enough for a lot of people. And I don't even like Devin. So
no, I don't like Devin.
Yeah, I mean, he crosses a lot of lines on there. And I will say on X's, Leroy and Naomi, terrible partnership. But he made some comments to her that I was like, Leroy, why are you saying this? Like, as a black man to a black woman.
Come on, like, you should have saw them on the Las Vegas season.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I remember that.
And I mean, he kept like making comments about her weave and stuff, and she just wasn't saying anything. And Jasmine was like, "Shut up!" Like, you can always count on Jasmine to just jump up like a chihuahua. Like, I was like, I'm glad that Jasmine is calling him out about this, because she wasn't standing up for herself at all. And I'm like, but now I imagine if he tried to say anything like that to Cam would freaking dog walk him if he tried to do that to her.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's not the one. That's why he found the right one for him.
Yes, he needs the woman who's like, pardon, what'd you say? Like, yeah, and that family, the only way they're getting a championship is if Cam brings it home. So
Pretty much. Like Leroy in a lot of ways, he's like the black Triple H of the challenge, except without any of the championships. But he was
father-in-law.
He was carried by his more popular friend, Bananas, Shawn Michaels, and then he found a woman that could bring him up to a higher level, but he still didn't win championships like Triple H did with Stephanie. So,
all right, let's get into these challenge episodes here. So we were on episode, I believe, 9. This is the last time we talked. So going into 9, and episode 9, the daily challenge is they're sliding down this soap hill on inner tube, and you try to like get into a target zone. Is
bubble bullseye.
That was called? Okay. All right. So that is what it was, and Devon and Shane ended up winning this challenge, and it was
4-star.
Yeah, it was 4-star. So they got a star on this one, and then they go into the house vote. But before the vote, poor Veronica gets injured, twists her ankle. They do the callback where she broke her ankle on one of the previous seasons, and it's like, well,
she was wearing heels then.
It's like, well, we know who's going in here. We know who's going in here. And Nicole and Melissa wanted to they wanted the chance to steal the star. The house got together and they wanted to throw them in there. So they ended up going in there so they could potentially steal a star from somebody, because they all realized these are weak teams. If they have a star, they'll be a little bit easier to beat in the final.
Yeah, they basically were trying to take the power away from Devon and Shane immediately. Like, Frank was already scheming when, as soon as they won that, they was like, we're trying to take the power out of their hands. Let's just have Melissa and Nicole be the house vote, and then they'll have to put in Veronica and Katie so they have a chance to win a star against them. And, let's just take the power away from them. And Devon overheard Frank scheming and basically asked him, like, what did you say? And he's like, oh, no, you're starting stuff, girl. And she's like, my name is Devon. What did he say? And Adam basically snitched on him. Adam told her what he said. He's like, we were just worried that you guys might vote in a more powerful team or a better team. So they were trying to make the vote for Nicole and Veronica. So I loved Devon. Devon was awesome here. And Frank was so flustered when Devon put him in that spot. That was great. I've been waiting for that. I like Frank for the entertainment, but I don't want him to win at all.
Yeah, I agree. And like, what he was doing was smart. It was, because he knows Shane hates him. Shane was gonna throw him in if they could keep the power from him. But Shane also needs to give Veronica a chance because they're supposed to be best friends. So he was absolutely smart in it. But I did not blame Devon and Shane at all for being. Basically, they won, and Frank was like, but actually, I'm controlling it. Like, they were right to be upset about it for sure. But man, what messy. This is a messy season.
So Nicole and Melissa go in against Veronica and Katie, and Nicole and Melissa win. And so
pin pop, the best elimination of the season.
Yeah, it was good. Speaking of popping balloons, they popped a bunch of balloons. They guide like this rope with a pen hanger. It's not a rope. Sorry, it's a giant pen hanging on a rope, and they guide it down to pop a bunch of balloons, and whoever popped the most got to win. And Melissa and Nicole won, and they stole the star from Turby. Nani and Turbo.
Hey, Turby. Let's call him
Turby,
Turby now.
Yeah, that's their name, Turby. Yeah, so they stole a star from Nani and Turbo, and Nani was so pissed. Nani
She's
was
so
so
tight.
mad of like, I don't fully blame her because Steve and Adam are the strongest team. It's like, why would you not steal their star?
Like, I
She was
understand you're in
right
a
to be
partnership.
mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that they're your friends, but Nicole never is gonna win. She's another one that's never gonna win the challenge because she's always friends with the wrong people. She always wants to protect the wrong people and doesn't want to go back on the wrong people. Nani was 100% right. The right choice was to take the star from Steve and Adam.
Yeah. I mean, she had
Yeah.
every right to be upset about it because it was stupid. Like she said, we haven't won anything. Like, why are you coming after us instead of even Frank and Sam had won 2 at that point? Like, 1 or 2. I mean, it was just stupid. The choice to take theirs was idiotic because you've seen Nani perform in a final. Like, I want to go against Nani in a final 100 times before I want to go against freaking Adam and Steve. Like, yeah, it was stupid. It was really stupid. And I did not blame her at all for being upset. I'm like, I don't even like Nani. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with Nani on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pussy chickens.
And then the next episode, Turbo and Nani are obviously pissed off that they now have to basically go in and they got to go compete for a star in an elimination because they did not win the daily. So they did not win the daily. Frank and Sam won the daily. And so Turbo and Nani won the chance to go in so they could compete and try to get their star back. I don't know if you guys have any comments about the daily elimination.
So the daily was pressure sandwich, where teams begin with 4 singular puzzle pieces, which they carry as a sandwich for the challenge, and must collect 6 additional puzzle pieces from stations within the jungle to add to their sandwich. And then teams must return to their last station where they drop off all the puzzle pieces while in transit. And after getting all 10 pieces, they have to just it's like a it's like a regular puzzle like you would see in like the hospital or in the doctor's office. And Frank and Sam won it. I mean, Frank and Sam, they've been doing like Cher said before, Frank and Sam have been killing it. Like ever since that smoothie challenge, they have won multiple different of these daily challenges. Frank is really good at the strategic part of it, and Sam has held up her end of the bargain, and they won here, so they had all the power. Where you knew who Frank and Sam were gonna vote in here. Like I know Nani and Turbo were very adamant to go in, but once Frank and Sam won, you should have known that they are gonna pick Adam and Steve. Adam is a fucking idiot for making a deal
And
with
Steve
Frank.
knew that they were gonna pick them, and Adam's like, like
Steve is. I'm gonna call Steve Stone Cold Steve Austin because this dude was like, I'm putting on my knee braces. I'm putting on my knee braces. I know what deal it is.
He did. He knew what was up. He knew it was coming. I mean, it was what it was, but God, that elimination was funny.
That was the most hilarious elimination, yeah.
Before we get to the elimination, you guys want to talk about Adam's apology and
oh yes.
So go ahead, SP3.
is still upset. Adam is still mad. He's still mad about the star getting taken away from him last season of All Stars. And Shade was just instigating. Shade was just instigating because a lot of the spotlight was on him because he was yelling at Davon in the challenge, and he made Davon cry at the end of the challenge. So a lot of spotlight was on him. So I felt like he was just instigating Adam to put some spotlight on that team. And he's like, so what really happened? It was like, he took it away from me and I got no explanation, no apology. And we've came this far. I just want to get an apology from him. And Steve, Steve is my favorite person on this whole season. Steve was awesome. Steve was like, do I, apologizing would be that I regret it, and I don't. So
yeah, like he was just, like you said, stone cold Steve Austin. He's eating his food. He's like, well, apologize. I'm like, oh my god. And Adam's like, just staring, like waiting for the apology that's not gonna come. Like, and it's funny because I had just said, I was texting you guys as I was watching it. I just said, like, I was actually proud of Adam because he stood up for Davon. Because Shane was awful to Davon this episode. The way that he spoke to her during the challenge, the way that he acted after the challenge, the things that he was saying about her, like, she tries to play the victim, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't understand. We see it with our eyes. We see the way that you're acting towards her. And she's doing her best to be patient the whole time. And Melissa was even like, Davon is amazing because she's acting the way she would want her daughter to react to something. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, I wanted to knock his head off for her with the way he was acting. And Adam like went over and tried to talk to him. He was like, it's not okay that you're talking to her like that, and he was the only person that was standing up for her. So I was like, yes, go Adam, like, finally. And then 5 seconds later, Adam's like, so I would like for you to apologize to me. and I'm like, oh, buddy, here we go. Like,
so he had to take all that praise we gave him back. Like, he just had to be Adam. And Adam's known Shane the longest, so it made sense that he would be the one that would kind of tell him about himself. Because I've always said this: if you're my friend, you should be able to tell me about myself if I'm acting outside of myself. I think that's a good friend who tells people. And I've always been annoyed, and I've ended friendships with people who don't like that about me, because I am the type of friend that will tell you about yourself if you're acting outside yourself. And if you react badly, then I don't need to be your friend. So I respect Adam for that.
I say that all the time. Like, if you're just gonna kiss your friends' asses and you can't be like, hey, no, actually you're wrong in this situation, then you're not a very good friend. Because I will tell my friends if I think that they're wrong about something. You may not listen to me, you may not care, but I'm still gonna tell you. Like, I mean, so absolutely. And I think that's, I noticed in the older seasons, there's a lot more of people acting terrible, but people call them out on it in the older seasons too. Now it's like, it's not as often that you see the people acting terrible, but now everybody's just like sitting there eating, like just watching. Nobody's actually intervening, because I think then they think that's going to cost them getting cast again. Like, they don't want to stop any drama. And I'm like, that just couldn't be me. I'd be like, I'll take the chance, because I'm not going to sit while someone. So that's always something that I'm like, but yeah, I mean, Adam's Adam. I don't know what we expect from Adam at this point. His face just annoys me. Like, I think that's part of the problem. And then he's always like he always has his mouth open all the time, and he's looking, he's like, I'm like, stop, just stop. What's wrong with you? Like, and then, I mean, we've got Steve's big freaking head. I just want him to give up on that hair. Like, his hair drives me insane. Got that Austin Matthews hairline going on.
Remember, he moisturizes it. He conditions it. He takes his time.
Hand model Steve. Oh God.
I mean, that's what cost them when when he learned he was going into the elimination, he just went to go take a quick shower. And then all of a sudden, his quick shower, he getting his hair done, he found out he was going to have to go into elimination at that point. Steve has been amazing. SP3 has been very singing his praises in the group chat throughout these last couple of episodes. But yeah, when Adam approaches him with the apology, he's like, okay, I don't take it back. Like, appreciate it.
He knows something.
You want to clear the air, aka you want an apology, and he's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. So like,
he no-sold him. He was like, I just watched Dark Side of the Ring for the Big Van Vader episode. This was the equivalent of Vader giving the power bomb to Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan just gets up. That was Steve. Oh man, Steve was awesome. He was awesome here. Who wasn't awesome? Shane once again, because Davon knew he was right behind him. Like, am I right that Davon knew that he was right behind her?
Yeah.
Which is like, my partner thinks it's still cool at 40 years old to be a TV villain.
Yeah, we're speaking of TV villains who play a character. Yes, Davon just straight up calls out Shane for this. Yeah, she 100% knew that, or that was the most brilliant camera work of all time to have the focus on him in the background there. But I'm 100% sure she knew.
And it was hilarious. Like, and she wasn't wrong. Like,
no,
wasn't wrong at all. Oh,
he
gave us
had
a thumbs up. A thumbs up came on the screen because you went like that.
And he had a big bitch fit. He had a temper tantrum like a toddler about it. Like, I'm leaving. You're making my character look bad.
Oh my God. Buddy, you made your own character look bad.
Exactly, because you're playing a character. You gave yourself away.
So they go into the elimination. Steve and Adam are chosen because Nani and Turbo want to go in so they can steal a star. Steve and Adam are chosen. And the first part of this is a bluffing game that I don't know if it really added anything to the game overall.
Except for entertainment.
But it was very entertaining. Yes, 100%.
Steve was like, I can't lie, so I'm just gonna act erratically.
Yeah.
And then
he's like, how do you say? He's like, my name is Mink, and they never be able to pronounce my name because it's spelled Meinke, and I used to always get in trouble for it.
He just starts like cracking up at the first question, and like Nani and Turbo are trying to like play this straight and everything. I don't think anybody did like accomplished anything because there was only one miss. They got it right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like it's a 50-50 guess anyway. So the point is one side opens up a box and then it's like, is there a star in there or not? And the other team asks, like, do you have a star in there? And they have to say whether it's a yes or no. And if they get it correct, then they get a ball removed from the second portion of the game. So it's a 50-50 shot regardless. And the only team that misses were Adam and Steve got one, or Nani and Turbo got one wrong. So they had one extra ball for the second portion. So again, I don't know what this added, but it was super entertaining the way everybody played it. And like Nani and Turbo were all cracking up. And yeah, I don't think any of them are good bluffers, honestly.
No.
I don't think any of them are good, but
it
worked a little bit.
I will say, this was the funniest case of a little bit of racism in my challenge was when Adam asked Nani, when did you come to this country? I couldn't help myself but to laugh.
I was like, Adam, oh my God. But she was just so incredulous about it, which as she should be. But it was just like, I was bumping into like her head. Like,
you're correct in that it's bordering on racism there. It is a good question though, of like, if you really want to throw somebody off, like, yeah, ask that question and be like, wait a second, hold on. You can really throw somebody off with that, because that's what it seemed like. They just want to ask the most outlandish questions possible to just get a reaction, and that's a very outlandish question to get a reaction.
And then they had to take the balls with like
Yes.
two
Yeah,
large
the
chopsticks.
the second portion of the game where they had a pit of balls, and they each had a giant chopstick, and they had to maneuver them together into a crate and then whoever finished with all the balls in the crate first won. Wasn't really that close. Nani and Turbo were struggling from the get-go because it was communication, and they don't communicate all that great. And so they ended up losing. Turbo, to his credit, did not lose his cool after losing this challenge, because I was expecting him to just go up there and start like hitting people with that chopstick or like throwing it at them. I thought he was going to chuck it into the group.
He did say his final words were 2 words, 1 finger.
Yeah. So Nani once again fails, as Nani does when it comes to these things. And
is what it is. Never fails. Well, we have to see who's left. Who's left in our draft here.
Oh yes, I should bring up the draft.
No,
yeah, I don't think I have anybody. Nani and Turbo might have been my last.
Because I know the chat had
the chat had Katie and Veronica, so they're gone.
Okay, so they're gone.
Oh, I have Frank and
Sam.
Sam. Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, Nani and Turbo.
Oh, I got Devon and Shane.
Okay, I won't spoil, and Melissa and Nicole are still there. I won't spoil the first half of things, the first half of the finale. But there you go. So everybody still has a team alive. SP3's got 2 teams.
SP3 also has Adam and Steve. So
yeah, that's 2 teams. So.
You're basically gonna win because you have Adam and
the
Steve.
greatest second round pick.
Unless one of their legs snaps in half mid finale, I'm pretty positive you're gonna win.
The greatest second round pick of my run of doing these challenges.
Maybe the greatest second round pick ever in the history of any draft ever. I mean, this season has been something with them because they've just dominated.
Yeah. What, like 5 elimination wins, 2 challenge wins. Yeah, this is one of the greatest all-star performances in challenge history.
What, 4 eliminations in a row at the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy
run for them.
All right, we will recap the finale probably in 2 weeks. Next week is WrestleMania, and SP3 and I are going to be dead. So probably in 2 weeks, we'll recap the finale and everything. Anything else you wanna do? 90 seconds, SP3.
Do I have anything to discuss? No, I don't think I have. I missed last week, so I have to rewatch the new season of 90 Day Fiance. The only new thing that came out was Jasmine and Gino. Jasmine had a baby by another guy, and she didn't know who the baby was from. So I'm still catching up on Last Resort. So by the time we do the show in 2 weeks, I'll be all caught up on Last Resort, and I will need 90 seconds times 2. I'll need 3 minutes to discuss it all.
Fair. We'll do 3 minutes next week.
On the 24th, the final season of the releases on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
The entire season. They're releasing the entire thing once.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
They need to.
Which is helpful, because I know for us, when it would be like 4 episodes a month, we would be like, the next time the ones would come on, we would be like, I don't remember what happened on the first 4 episodes. Yeah, so they're releasing the entire season all at once on the 24th.
Knowing me and my missus' history, will probably be done by the time we do the next episode.
Yeah, there's 10 episodes. So
I probably won't be. I'll be watching a lot of it at night and everything. I'll probably
me
at least
too.
be halfway through it, hopefully, if things
Okay.
go well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we're at. We'll review what we can in 2 weeks from you, along with Challenge All Stars. All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
I will also be talking about Celebrity Big Brother next episode because Mickey Rourke. Oh my
yeah.
God. I've never seen he all I will say is that he's already been kicked off, and now my missus doesn't want to watch it anymore. She doesn't want to watch the series anymore because he was the most entertaining part of it.
Yeah, it's I've seen stuff from that.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff from that, and it's something. It's something. Okay, we'll get out of here. Cher Delaware, anything to plug?
I mean, you can check out if you want to see me talking about all the old seasons of the challenge. I've been posting threads about every season that I get on, which is fun because I forget so much of it. And then I'm like I posted after meeting Big Easy, nothing can make me feel bad for him. And then 2 tweets later, it was like, oh, never mind. Laurel just made me feel bad for him. Like,
I think like Laurel, the only season that she's only had 2 seasons where she's been redeemable, and that's Free Agents. No, not Free Agents. She was awful in Free Agent. That's Rivals 1 because she was nice to Cara, and her first season. That's it.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Her first season, I was like, she's actually not that bad. As I was watching it back, I was like, she's pretty nice. She feels bad when she's like having to drive the women into the ground and stuff. And then after that, it wasn't. Well, when she drinks was most of the problem. I mean, she just was awful to everybody when she was drinking. But yeah, so I've been posting about that. It's on commercial right now because I can hear the Pluto commercial thing going on. But X's is still on, so I'll be finishing up X's.
Sounds good.
SP3, anything to plug?
Just follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. My latest interview with Kevin the Jet Knight is up on Sports Illustrated, the Takedown on si.com. You can go over and check that out. That's also on the Takedown on SI YouTube channel. Plenty of content over on True Hill Heat, wrestling for WrestleMania week for you to check out. So go over, subscribe over there.
There you go. We'll be back. This is going to be posted in about 3 hours from now. So if you're listening to this late night on a Sunday, we'll be back tomorrow with Within the Weeds, myself and Joel Pearl. Big WrestleMania week. SP3 will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. So SP3 and I will be talking a lot of wrestling this week. Till then, Reality Rumble will be back in 2 weeks, maybe 3. You never know with us. Depends on how we're all feeling and how life is going.
That's all we know.
Yes. Bye, everybody.